are trying to disband our department. They're trying to take away the administrative searches, which would prevent things like this. So if you have any questions, go ahead and...
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The parents do want to pick their children up early, what that process would look like. So I want to turn this over right now to the Superintendent, Vivian Etchen.
Good afternoon. It's an incredibly difficult situation for us as members of the LA Unified community. As the superintendent, I want to express to all parents and community members that our students are safe. We will make sure that every child is reunited with a parent, a guardian, or a custodian. We will keep the students here and safe. No matter how late it is, I'll make sure that I'm here with the last child leaving this campus. The school campus is safe now. It is an incident that will be carefully investigated. We're incredibly saddened by the fact that it happened, but all the neighboring schools, the entire community will be on alert. We have set up a station for parents and others to ask questions, which is at the intersection of Belmont and Beverly. I want you to know we're here for our kids. We could not control or know about the situation, but our schools are safe. We remain committed to our students and communities. We will address this issue both in terms of real-time mental health support and any other type of support that is necessary for our students to be back and learning, which is their primary responsibility, our priority in keeping them safe and learning. I also want to add that even though school will continue until the end of the day, we have counselors in the classrooms. Our students will be fed. They will have opportunities to discuss as to what that means to them, and we'll continue that support the following days until we have our campus back where it should be.
I'd like to now introduce our school board president, Monica Garcia.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you to all our first responders and the people who came together at Belmont to help our students. We are all troubled by the fact that some of our young people were hurt today. We are troubled as we ask a school community to stand strong and stand together. But we must remember that healing is possible, and there are many resources here across the district and the city to help our young people and their families. I am grateful to all of the people who have supported our kids, our staff, and our leaders as we move through this investigation and help our young people return to their normal place of learning. Quiero dar las gracias a todos los aliados que se acercaron a nuestra escuela y nuestros estudiantes esta mañana, los policías, los bomberos, las agencias de la ciudad, tanto como todos los líderes en este distrito. Es preocupante que ahora en nuestra escuela hubo jóvenes que fueron lastimados en esta manera. Estamos trabajando para asegurar que hay cuidado para ellos, que hay apoyo para ellos y que hay comunicación con todas las familias y nuestra comunidad. Esto es difícil y vamos a necesitar apoyo de todas las familias para regresar al enfoque en familias. Por ahora, los jóvenes están mantenidos en el plantel, están siendo apoyados, y si las familias tienen interés de venir a la Belmont y la Beverly, las calles Belmont y Beverly, hay una mesa de información para apoyar a esos padres, comunidad que quieren hablar con alguien. Hay una mesa de información para las familias y la comunidad en la calle Belmont y Beverly. También hay una línea que llamamos hotline 213-241-1000. Otra vez 213-241-1000. Esa línea es para información para las familias, los padres, madres, familias aquí de Belmont y Castro Middle School. Otra vez, solamente agradecida que hay cuidado para los jóvenes lastimados, hay información y apoyo para las familias y tenemos una red de líderes que están al tanto de todos nuestros jóvenes. Again, I want to say thanks that the children who were hurt are in good care. For the rest of our students, they are being supported, and a big request for this community to help us return to normalcy and help our children come back to school ready to learn. Thank you all.
Can you give that phone number and info?
Yes, the hotline for our parents is 213-241-1000. 213-241-1000. That is a hotline that has been set up for parents and family members of the Castro Middle School and Belmont High School community. Thank you.
Superintendent, beyond the random searches that you do every day, are there any metal detectors or any other security measures?
Let me. What I'd like to do first is have Deputy Chief Bob Arcos from LAPD Operations Central Bureau come up. After we have our speakers that are providing the updates, then we'd be glad to answer their questions. Thank you. So, Chief Bobby Arcos.
Thank you, Chief Zipperman. Good afternoon. My name is Robert Arcos. I'm the Commanding Officer of Operations Central Bureau. And I just want to underscore what our school superintendent, school board president, and Chief Zipperman have expressed to you, is that our campus and our surrounding community, we are safe and it is secure. We have moved from a tactical operation now into an investigative component. We are unified in command here with school police and with the LA Fire Department. What I want to say is, as a parent, this is everyone's worst case nightmare. Worst case scenario and a nightmare for all of us. But this is what I want to assure you. The response from the Los Angeles Fire Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, and the Los Angeles School Police Department was extraordinary. This city shares a great relationship with all of our city partners here, and it was shown today. Everybody worked hand in hand. We know what to do. We've trained for it. We planned and we have coordinated, and it really worked today. The response from the school district, having crisis counselors, the administrators here, was nothing short of spectacular work as well. So the surrounding community, our parents who are watching, should be assured that their children are in great care. So with that, what I'd like to say is the Rampart Division has the investigative lead on this incident. There is a lot of work to be done, as you can imagine. There's a number of students and teachers and administrators that we will need to interview, and there will be a number of follow-ups that will come from this investigation. When we have that information, and we are sure, we will begin to share that information with you. But at this point right now, it is still too early in the investigation to understand the motive, what precipitated this, how that weapon was accessed, etc. I know there's a lot of questions that you may have, but at this point, we're not in a position to answer that because we just do not know yet. So thank you again.
Is the 15-year-old female a suspect or a person of interest? 1 second, please.
Now I'd like to introduce the Los Angeles City Fire Department's PIO, Eric Scott.
The Los Angeles Fire Department quickly arrived here just before 9 o'clock. Engine 11 arrived on scene. They determined if this was a static situation, set up staging, called for additional resources, and of course we quickly co-located with law enforcement. As we began to triage patients, ultimately there's been a total of 5 that were injured. So we had a 15-year-old male that suffered a gunshot wound to the head that we placed in critical yet stable condition. We also had a 15-year-old female that suffered a gunshot wound to the wrist and we're placing in fair condition. The following 3 patients was a 30-year-old female, an 11-year-old male, and a 12-year-old female that all suffered abrasions. We did quickly triage, treat, and transport these individuals to local hospitals where they are getting further care. In addition, we did notify the Mayor's Crisis Response Team to join this robust group of individuals to provide care and aid to those tragically affected by this incident.
Thank you, Eric. Right now what I'd like to do is invite our LA City Attorney, Mike Feuer, up here with me, if we could. And the reason I want Mike Feuer to join me is before we get into any further questions that you may have, and something that's although because of this incident, it's important that we remind you of something. We do not know yet, in the investigation, hopefully we will find out when the right time is, how our young person on this campus ended up having the ability to have access to a firearm and bring it onto a campus. Or for that matter, any young person having access to a weapon and bringing it anywhere. We have laws that mandate that parents who own guns, any adult who owns a gun, any gun owner, has an obligation to ensure that gun is locked inside a home. As I indicated, the majority of the weapons that our young people get their hands on today is a result of a weapon they get at home or from a family member's home. LAPD, LA School Police, the City of Los Angeles, the City Attorney's Office continue to work in conjunction with the Safe Neighborhoods program, and one of the main missions that we will have and we will continue to enforce is the issue of finding out how a young person had access to a weapon. And I assure you, if we find out it came from an adult from a home, that the proper prosecutorial procedures will occur. And I'm going to let City Attorney Mike Feuer talk a little bit about that.
Thank you, Chief. Thanks very much. I want to stress what the Chief just said. We don't know the facts here. We don't know how the gun got in the hand of the shooter in this case. But as a broader point, throughout our city, you have seen our office again and again prosecute adults when children get access to guns that haven't been safely stored, including times when children bring a gun to school or to another public location. There is no reason for that ever to happen. This is a very important call to action to every adult in our community who has a gun. You must store it safely and keep it out of access for any child to reach. It could result in a tragedy. It could result in a suicide or a homicide or another situation which could easily have been prevented by responsibly, safely storing weapons. Los Angeles has a law about the safe storage of weapons. The state has laws that require the safe storage of weapons. Every responsible gun owner needs to take heed to the fact that they have an obligation for all of us. Again, in this instance, I do not yet know the facts as to how this individual got a gun in the first place, so we're not necessarily attributing unsafe storage to this situation. It is possible, we just don't know yet. But this is an opportunity for all of us in the community to understand the rules and our responsibilities. Thank you, Chief.
Chief Zimmerman, can you tell us a little bit about the suspect or the person of interest you have in custody? I understand.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the person of interest, the young girl? I understand she's 12.
Once again, the question was, can we speak about the person of interest? And the answer is, this is a Los Angeles Police Department investigation. I will certainly allow Chief Arcos to come up and probably he'll give you an answer, something pretty close to it's an ongoing investigation. There's not more he can give you, but I'll let Chief Arcos answer that.
I heard you already say she was 12, though. Can you confirm that the person of interest that you have in custody right now is a 12-year-old female?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the exact age yet, but it is a female. And there was a question earlier if it had occurred in the classroom, and yes, it did occur in a classroom.
Were the 2 students who were shot and targeted?
That's part of the investigation. We got a lot of work to do. I just hope you guys would all understand that. You guys have covered these stories many, many times before. Let our investigators work. They're working this case very, very closely with the school officials that are here and the administrators and with school police. Lots to still be determined. I've given you what I think that is appropriate to you at this point, and I hope that that helps with your questions for now.
How many students were in the classroom?
were in the classroom, and have they been talked to already?
The students that were in the classroom, I do not know the number. However, they have been taken out of the classroom. They're secured in the school auditorium, and the detectives are going through them, interviewing them individually now.
What grade were they in? What grade?
I don't know what grade that is.
Again, we believe that we don't know the exact number of students in the class at this time, because when this incident occurred, there were numerous kids that ran and other kids that may have left the classroom. So the investigation will certainly determine how many kids were actually in the classroom when it occurred versus how many were in the classroom when the law enforcement arrived.
Chief,
Were there metal detectors?
One
second. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chief. It's being attributed to you that the suspect, the woman or the female, is 12 years old. So can you tell us if there's been
the information that I received is that right now the person of interest is 12 years old.
Are there right now?
This is preliminary information that we have received.
Preliminary, 12 years old.
Metal detectors at school, or what is the policy of,
Okay, let me, as far as metal detectors in the schools, first of all, one thing that is not going to occur today is to get into any kind of debate on the issue of LAUSD's current random searching policy and whether or not this incident had any effect on that or not. Every one of our schools, every one of our secondary schools, LAUSD has policies and procedures in place. Okay, at every one of our schools. We have numerous safety procedures in place and numerous policies that go with our safe school plans.
Okay, I'm
okay.
No more questions. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so this